I can't allow you to do that,
I'll be
Jack.
acting as legal counsel for Jerry Jacks.
So Jerry decides to surprise his brother, and you happen to know that he needs a lawyer?
When has Jerry Jacks not needed legal representation? I'm acting on behalf of a friend, that's all.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
May I see the arrest warrant, please? Thank you.
Are you sure you want to do this, Alexis? Do you really want to defend a man who would blow up his own brother's hotel?
If Alexis can get Jerry out of this, she can get you out of a bogus espionage charge.
I'm sorry, Mac, but you're mistaken. I'm never going to forget the face of the man who made me choose between my father and my best friend. And this man is not James Craig.
Are you absolutely sure?
Yes.
Nicholas?
It's not him.
Mike, what do we got?
Wrongful arrest, mistaken identity, among other things. You should save the department embarrassment and tell the commissioner to let my client go.
What are you thinking about?
How different things are going to be.
Given time, I know you're going to love Venezuela as much as I do.
I'm sure. Just can't believe this is our last day in Port Charles.
Well, I'd say it's getting off to a promising start.
The only thing that could make this morning better would be if Liza Ray were home with us.
Alcazar's on his way to South America today. Make sure he never gets on the plane.
What about Sky's daughter?
Alcazar promised Sky that they'd all fly back together. I gave Sky a cell phone with my number programmed into it. As soon as Lila is in her hands, she will call me, and that is your signal to do what you got to do to Alcazar. I want that bastard gone without a trace.
Turns out James Craig is really Jerry Jacks with a new face. This whole thing is just an unfortunate coincidence.
I'm afraid it is, Mr. What's your name?
Lansing, Rick Lansing. I'm the district attorney.
Acting district attorney.
I admit it, I'm a bit of a rogue, but I obviously shouldn't have gone for the bargain basement plastic surgeon, but if I'd done all these terrible things, why would I come back to the Metro Courts? Why would my brother's ex-wife be defending me?
You forced him into it somehow.
And how would that work?
In fact, we're a little close to this because of Robin. Why don't you just let me take it from here?
Wait, you talked to James Craig during the crisis on the phone. Did you recognize his voice?
Yes, it's possible. Look, he does have an accent.
A lot of people have accents.
Who called the police? No one?
Who's going to step forward? Who's going to step forward in front of the man that tortured him, especially when you're trying to cut him loose?
That's not what I'm trying to do, Mac.
Obviously, nobody here is admitting that they called the police. No one is going to. Emily and Nicholas are saying that he's not James Craig. His own mother and brother are denying it. So what exactly are you trying to establish here?
He's James Craig. Okay, he's the man who held us hostage.
DNA will tell you that he's Jerry Jacks.
Apparently the DNA will also tell us that Jerry Jacks is James Craig.
Howdy. I'm sorry I missed the wedding. Welcome to the family.
As you can see, Jerry made an unfortunate choice of plastic surgeons.
There's nothing to substantiate a warrant. There's only a blurry picture taken by a security camera. There's no fingerprints. There's no weapons. Very little evidence. And as far as the DNA is
Jason
concerned...
shot Craig after the explosion, Alexis.
Well, Jason...
His blood is all over there.
If
That's
you
drawn
shot
upstairs.
James Craig, then Jason should be in jail. There was so much carnage in that building, there's no way to identify the blood.
All I have to do is prove that the blood belongs to your client here, whoever he is.
I think you're wasting your time. Carly, would you mind helping us out, please?
Isn't this all a little too convenient?
Yeah, let's just hear what she has to say, okay?
You spent a lot of time with James Craig during the hostage crisis. Is that true?
Yes, unfortunately.
Is this man James Craig?
You won't have to wait much longer to see our daughter. Lila will be here within the hour. Those tears. Hey.
me than you know. I never thought I'd see my little girl again.
Sky, I made you a promise that I intend to keep. You, Lila, and I are going to leave this country as a family. And once we get to Venezuela, we're going to start a new life together. One that's based on trust.
All I want is to let go of the past and move on.
This town has caused me and my family nothing but pain. My brother and my niece were brutally murdered. My son was shot down in cold blood. And I am not going to stay here and watch the same thing happen to you and Lila. I know how hard leaving is for you. I wish I could give you more time to say goodbye.
It's all right. Sometimes it's best to make a clean break.
Okay, assuming Sky does come through and we actually get rid of Alcazar, we still have to deal with Jax's brother. He paid me a visit last night.
And he's still alive?
Well, Craig has an insurance policy to make sure it stays that way.
What are you talking about?
Emily. He got Emily to open up a bank account in her own name that he's using to funnel money that can be traced right back to her. And he claims if anything happens to him, he's going to go to the government, turn in evidence that will implicate him.
Why is Emily mixed up in this whole thing?
Idea.
Okay, I don't have to tell you, but you know, you need to keep her safe, obviously. But right now, you have to focus on Alcazar.
I do not appreciate being called at 6 a.m. to get you an injunction.
Diane, I do not appreciate that my kids get woken up in the middle of the night by a helicopter on top of the house next door.
Well, your new neighbor must be somebody important.
I don't care who my new neighbor is, but I tell you what, whoever it is in for a rude awakening.
I bought this place with a view of the lake, so with that in mind, I'd like you to redesign the entire house from the floorboards up.
There's nothing you'd like me to keep?
The architecture is schizophrenic at best. There are so many competing styles in there, it makes me physically ill. And I want you to replace that wall. Gray stonework, it's like living next to a penitentiary. Tearing that down will be the first order of business.
A wall like that usually gets built for a reason. I doubt the person who owns that house will want to take it down.
Well, that person has never dealt with me.
It's weird how much you look like James Craig. Eerie. And I'm glad someone called the cops, and I don't blame Mac for arresting you. James Craig should have to pay for what he did.
Yes, I agree. He deserves to burn in hell.
I can't.
Mac, do I really have to stay? This is bringing up a lot of bad memories.
Just hold on. Nicholas, what were you about to say?
I hope you find whoever did this.
We will. Whatever it takes.
Can we leave now?
Yeah, go ahead. We'll call you if we need you.
Carly. Is this James Craig?
No.
You know, we still have 2 witnesses and a photo ID. That's enough to lock him up until we complete the DNA.
Okay, we'll get
If you want to waste your time on a case of mistaken identity, then suit yourself.
Let's go. You know, the Jerry Jacks I knew always lived right on the edge of the law. He had a lot of dark connections and a penchant for laundering money.
Yes, you're right.
And he was never capable of this level of violence.
And I'm still not.
I hope to God you're not covering for him, even if he is your brother after what he did to Robin. Come on, let's go.
Matt, wait a minute. Let him go. We'll get the DNA when the order comes through. Hey, don't leave town.
He's still a substantial flight risk.
It's okay.
He won't leave town. I'll guarantee it, man.
You know what? You can lie about everything else, but you can't fake the DNA. Let's go.
I'm really sorry I caused you so much grief. I am.
We haven't pulled it off yet.
The printer sent over the mock-ups for the latest edition.
Good. Oh, no, that's right. Okay, last season. Really? It was so dreary.
Better stop flying that helicopter.
You? Oh, well, that would explain the penitentiary next door.
What are you doing slumming?
What my client means to say is he didn't realize you were relocating to Port Charles.
Yeah, isn't Manhattan gonna fall apart without you?
Maybe. But it's only an hour commute by helicopter.
And while we're on the subject, my client has obtained a restraining order protecting his airspace and the acoustical boundaries of his property.
Call the lawyer and have this set aside.
Not only are you infringing upon my client's airspace, but you are also in clear violation of a neighborhood noise ordinance. So I'm afraid you're just going to have to find another mode of transportation. Your outfit?
Can we talk fashion some other time? Get her lawyer on the phone. I want to speak to Miss Howard alone.
So is this where you make me an offer I can't refuse?
What kind of offer would that be?
You're actually planning to stay on here?
Yes, I think I'll stay around until this mess is all resolved. I'm sorry you had to see it. I mean, can I buy you a drink as an apology?
You did the things they say you did, didn't you? You're James Craig.
I'll take it that's a no.
Thank God your father isn't here to see this.
Why? You planning to turn me in?
Your father would expect me to. But no, I won't. At least not tonight.
Thank you, Mum.
I'm not doing it for you, I'm doing it for your brother.
Well, that's no surprise.
Your brother is defending you. He's risking his reputation, his good name, and you've broken his heart.
But I'm afraid it's inevitable.
You have crossed a line from bad behavior to evil. And you don't seem to even care.
Oh, come on, Mom. When have I cared about anything? Mom?